Hi, I'm Jim Gordon and you're watching Market 1 Minute. Joining us is Ryan Jackson, President and CEO of Newlox Gold Ventures. Ryan, welcome.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Great to have you, sir. Junior resource companies that produce metal are a rare breed. Now, in your opinion, what is the current level of productivity and where does the company intend to be in the near term?
So this is something that certainly makes Newlox Gold very unique. There are very few producing junior companies, and we're pleased to call ourselves one of them. Our first processing plant is currently in production in Costa Rica. It's during the ramp-up stage right now, so we're building up to an 80 ton per day throughput there. That may seem small, but it results in 6,500 ounces of gold per year from that project once at full scale. With a $2 million capex on that plant, that actually results in a sub 1 year payback. We're also building our second processing plant currently, and that one is going to be larger, producing approximately 20,000 ounces per year. And we've actually announced our plan to expand into South America. We're looking at projects in Brazil and Colombia, as well as Ecuador currently, in various stages of due diligence. And again, that's something that we're expecting to be an even larger processing plant. So over the next 5 years, our intention is to grow Newlox Gold into a mid-tier gold producer. And to do that, we plan to expand to multiple jurisdictions.
Tell us about Newlox Gold's focus on the artisanal mining sector and why it's important.
So this is a very interesting section of the mining industry. What most people are not understanding is that 20% of global gold production actually comes from artisanal miners. These are small-scale people who are competing with the Barricks of the world, and they're producing 20% of the global supply. It's actually quite remarkable. They're doing this in a very inefficient way, and they're also creating quite a bit of pollution in the process. Newlox Gold focuses on that because this is an area where we think we can significantly increase the productivity and we can also remove that environmental problem. Together, those two things will result in social, environmental, and economic benefits for all stakeholders.
And what's the purpose of the company's R&D division?
This is also something that's quite unusual for a mining company of our size. However, it came together early on because the company partnered with the University of British Columbia to develop technology specifically to address artisanal mining. We've actually continued that relationship, and since then we've built partnerships with many institutions around the world, including the University of Sao Paulo and CETEM, which is the National Metallurgical Institute in Brazil. With this help, what we've basically been developing are two main technologies. One is a low-energy mercury remediation system. This is a way to recover historical pollution from artisanal mined tailings without using a massive amount of energy, which currently accepted technologies use. This is something that we're not planning to monetize. For a company our size, we think that this is the best thing that we can do as far as a CSR program. Allowing it to be used all around the world will significantly compound our effect. Now, we're not just a nonprofit. We are here to make profit for our shareholders. And so we do have a second technology that's designed to recover gold. And that one we do plan to monetize. It's called organic aqua regia. And Newlox Gold has developed it as a system that has significant advantages over traditional and currently accepted mining practices. The worst way to make gold is with mercury. That's what the artisanal miners do. And that system is inefficient and cannot be done safely. So our market at large has upgraded from that to cyanide leaching. Cyanide has a terrible PR problem, but it's significantly better than mercury. However, it uses a lot of water, and because it's very toxic until it's broken down, it does have a workplace safety type of problem. Our technology is so far in the lab showing that it can recover gold as well as cyanide. It is non-toxic, and it is anhydrous, which means it doesn't require water. And of course, water use is a big deal in mining, but also effluent is a big deal in mining. So to not have either of those issues is a big advantage. We're currently doing stage 2 testing in the field in Costa Rica, and we plan to develop that and deploy it to our own processing plants, kind of a scratch your own itch type of scenario. Eventually, we'd like to deploy it to many processing plants under the Newlox Gold umbrella. We only develop products that we want to use. And as we deploy that around the world, it will become a proven technology, which then we can market to third parties.
And Ryan, why do you think the team you've assembled is particularly capable of delivering on Newlox's business plan?
Yeah, so this is another place where we're a little bit different from most. We basically have a team that is mostly Central and South American. And heading that team is an engineer who's worked with the United Nations for many years, worked with our Chief of R&D, Dr. Marcelo Vega, who's really the global resource on artisanal mining. So these teams basically have friend and family connections into these artisanal mining areas. They're culturally able to work in these jurisdictions efficiently, and also have a fantastic pedigree of engineering knowledge through Dr. Vega and the many years of education that he's provided, bringing up new engineers through the process.
Okay, finally, Newlox Gold has a very specific focus that is different from most junior resource companies. How did this all come together?
So this is a bit of an interesting story. It goes back more than a decade when I was actually still in school, in college, and working as basically a coffee getter for some geologists and mining engineers, doing traditional mining exploration and development in Latin America. One of the things that we saw everywhere we went was artisanal tailings. This is waste from local miners, some of it over 200 years old and some of it having just been produced that week. One of our geologists decided to take some samples of that material and send it to the lab along with our exploration samples. And what came back was a shock, because that material actually graded higher than the mine plan we were developing at the time. We didn't know how that was possible, that waste that somebody had already picked through could be higher grade than our mine plan, but that's something that percolated in our minds over the years, and eventually we realized that the reason it's so high grade, and this is where Dr. Vega comes in as a global resource on the artisanal mining sector, is that these people are mining very high grade, they're very picky about what they pull out of the ground. They apply mercury processing, which is 40% effective, leaving the majority of the gold in the waste. And so that's why those grades are there, but it also creates a pollution problem. And so for us, and for me especially, because I studied environmental science, this is a way to put those two things together. Can we recover the gold? Clearly the grades are good, but can we also do the environmental remediation at the same time? And that was the original spark that brought together Newlox Gold.
Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jim Gordon. Thanks for watching this Market 1 Minute on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with other videos that we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click on this list to see other great videos from Market 1. And thank you again for watching.